Hello and good morning, everyone. Well, as you know, we are getting towards the end of summer. And so, whenever that happens, you want to get ahead of the game with crops that you can harvest in the fall and early winter. And in some cases, straight on throughout winter, depending on what the crop is and how you're able to protect it. Anyways, I wanted to show you what we have growing in these trays here. In these trays, we have different varieties of lettuce that are great fall crops. Then we have some Swiss chard, and what is this right here? Mustard greens, spinach, and of course we have more lettuce, collard greens, turnip greens, and just a few other things, some kale. As you see, the sprouts are already starting to come through, and we're growing these things in the trays. I see that the shadow makes it easier to see the greens. So let me try to, yeah, you can see the sprouts a lot better with my shadow there. But yes, we started these a few days ago, and they are already starting to sprout. And so we're trying to again get a jump on our fall plantings. And it's always best to get them started in late summer. And there's a few other things we're going to be planting as well. Things that will do well in, look at that, do well in the fall. Now here are a few things we planted a few weeks ago, just to always keep things going in. We have some more Detroit beets there, in which you can eat the greens of the beets as well. You don't just have to wait for the fruit under the ground, but you can eat the leaves as well. And here we have some more Swiss chard or rhubarb. And then we also have some more green beans in this bin. Over here, we have one particular variety of cucumbers, and as you see, there are flowers all over, and cucumber plants typically produce a lot of cucumbers. For those of you who like cucumbers in your salad, or if you like to just eat them by themselves, you want to make pickles, or you want to make cucumber lemonade. Cucumbers are something that you definitely want to keep in your garden throughout the season. Here's another variety of cucumbers right here that is filled with flowers as well. And I have some over yonder as well in other containers. Now, here we have different varieties of herbs. Definitely several varieties of basil and dillweed and other fennel and other herbs as well. And then we have some milkweed right here and some sage. So these are just different things that we planted mid-summer, because you want to keep things constantly going in and growing. And as you can see, we are using fire rings as our grow beds because they are very durable and sturdy, and they are going to be here. Whereas you get raised beds that are built from wood, you only get a few years out of those, and then they are history. They are gone, decomposed out of existence. Right here we have a lot of flowers for this beautiful vining fruit as well, growing in this beautiful blue pot. But again, always having something growing throughout the season is a great idea. And here's some dillweed that is starting to seed up, but you can still pluck those stems off of there and incorporate them into your salad, or season your pickles with those. But allowing it to seed up ensures, look at those, that's going to seed up, and it's going to ensure that you have more seeds for the next season. Now in this area here, we have more of the fire rings to grow food in, and they are working out just fine, just great. We're going to have to do some additional work around them so that we don't have to keep edging the grass between them. You can do that by applying cardboard and then putting mulch or rocks on top of that, so that you don't have to worry about cutting the grass in between the bins. Of course, that's something you think about ahead of time. And sometimes when you're busy doing things, you just don't think at that moment. But anyway, I just wanted to show here, we have a lot of cayenne peppers in these first couple of bins here. You see how red and fiery they are. There's an ingredient called capsaicin that is inside of cayenne that makes them very good for your health. Okay, so many of these are ready to be harvested, and we could make our own pepper sauce, or of course get the seeds out for the next season, and make your own hot sauce or whatever it is you want to do. Or you can just chop them up over salad if you can take the heat, and do it that way as well. But and then this is a tomato plant here. He needs to be stood up. And then we have a couple of other things over there as well. We have 2 bins that we planted peanuts in. This is going to be our first time attempting to grow peanuts, so you don't see anything there because we just put them in a few days ago. But it is said that you either plant them in early spring or late summer for a fall crop. So that is what we did there. We have more beets there. And so, again, using these fire rings as raised beds is another great way to have flower beds that are going to stand the test of time for a very long time. Also, we've harvested a lot of our corn and green beans from the hay bales. As you see, the hay bales are reducing down really well. After we got our beans and our corn from that particular area, look at that. Now all we have to do is surround those, or whatever we're going to do, or we could just keep them like that on the ground directly and add more soil to it, and you're going to have, by the next season, you're going to have a nice area of growth with natural materials. This was organic hay that we got from a local farmer, and it's reducing down quite well. Now here on this side of the hay bale, look at this. We have basil. It's like a basil bush there. Look at that. Lots of basil next to it as well. Lots of basil. And as you see, this one is starting to seed up, but these can be harvested and you can make basil paste. We eat them raw in salad. Of course, you can put them in any type of sauce that you're making. Lots of great uses for basil. And again, we grew these in our hay bales that are reducing down quite well. Look at that. Now something else we have growing in our hay bales is okra. And as you can see, they have gotten quite big. And you can see some of the okra on the plant. The ones Okay, there you go. The ones that are too big, we'll just have to harvest those for seed, but the smaller ones are just perfect and need to come off ASAP because they grow really fast. And here are some more over here. You can see some of the okra there, and you can see there's a flower. Wherever there's a flower, that is typically where you will get more growth. And so we have a lot of it here. And this was grown directly in the hay bales. Look at that. And as I stated before, in certain areas the hay bales are cooking down, or not cooking down, but decomposing down really well, the way we had hoped to see. And so this is the okra. And here we have the asparagus beans. We can either take them off and eat them and harvest them like that for eating, or we can let them dry for seed. Here are some more right here. Asparagus beans. That right there is one of the watermelons that is growing off of the side of one of the hay bales. We just put the plants right inside of the boxes and we set them on top, and there is one of the watermelons right there from the hay bale plantings. Of course, we did a video early on where we explained how we used some 10 by 10 boxes, I believe it was, so that, and they were 4 inches high, so that we can get the depth that we needed for the soil. In this area, what you're seeing are the greens from the sweet potato vines. As you see, they are going all over the place. Look at that. Just kind of going all over the place. For those of you who didn't know, the greens, or the leaves from the sweet potato vine, are edible as well. You wash them off really good, and you can either just eat them like this, raw, or you can mix them and cook them with other greens. They don't taste as good as some of your other heartier greens like mustard and turnip, but they can certainly be mixed with other greens and are very, very good for you. Anything that Yah creates to be eaten as food is good for you. Now here are some things harvested early this morning that will be eaten later. Throughout the season, there are always things to harvest and prepare for whatever meal you're going to have for the day. We have some cucumbers, some butternut squash, and a few different varieties of tomatoes there. Okay, that is all for our garden update right now. I just wanted to do this since I was out here this morning, and what better time than before you get too busy. So with that, I will say shalom.